JJ here from 22 Explosive Hits. Welcome to No K-Tell Thursday. Here is another segment from the 2.5 hour long interview that I did with James Winston Lennon, I'm going to be talking about my sports video collection, my sports memorabilia collection, and I hope you all enjoy it. Have a good day. Take care. So have you ever looked at the state of Wisconsin? If you afterwards want to take a map, Wisconsin looks like a thumb. We look like a hand, Wisconsin, with Green Bay being right here, and then Lake Michigan, and the West Coast. So the thumb portion right here, we call it Door County, and it's like a tourist area where everybody from all the world goes there. It's beautiful. It's a peninsula. It's just gorgeous up there. The reason why I'm telling this story is we get to a film. I saw, believe it or not, on the listing there that Ronnie Cox was giving a speech at a local film theater down there, and they were going to watch Deliverance, and he was going to be there signing his book. So I did buy a copy of his book, but in return, he also signed a copy of Beverly Hills Cop for me as well.
Oh, wow.
So Ronnie Cox, and I also have another one. The other one I couldn't find it, but he also signed Total Recall also.
Oh, yeah.
So it's right there. He signed. I ran and got this DVD at the Walmart in Sister Bay.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't know it till the last minute. So I already had the films, but I had to run and get these versions because that's what they had. I was like, please have it, and they did. So that was good. So, or I grabbed any Ronnie Cox movie I could find. So that was the first, kind of the only film thing I brought that's like film out here. I do have lots as well for that for another video, but I brought kind of focus was on sports. Because I saw you were a big NBA fan, so I brought some sports memorabilia to show you.
Cool.
We could probably make them 2 videos, one for sports, one for movies, and go back and forth. So let's see, what do I start with? I'll ask what do you want first? You want memorabilia or do you want movies?
Movies first.
Okay, they're all documentaries or real footage. First thing I have is the Ultimate Grusty collection.
Ooh, nice.
Hockey. It says all his greatest films when he made all his accomplishments, and what makes these really cool, about 99% of what I'm going to show you, these all have full-length games on there. These aren't just documentaries. They're full-length games. You can watch the game from start to finish without the commercials. But
Oh, wow. That is so cool. I didn't think they actually do that.
yeah, they do. And what you have to like chase them down because they'll be released and then they go out of print and then they cost hundreds of dollars in some cases to get. The Islanders video goes right now for $300-400 if you have a copy, even if you have a copy, and even if it's being sold, it's hard to find. A lot of different teams. So I started this physical media collection a while ago of different sports stuff, as well.
Well, it's nice to have the video of the great one.
Yes, I also have the Edmonton Oilers 10 greatest games. This has on here. Read for you. From '84, it has against the Islanders, against Philadelphia, against Calgary, all their different championship games. Has them all on here. The Edmonton Oilers, any of their different games they've had over the years, all going all the way back to the '80s. So it's really cool to see even how the filming is at that time, and live. It's mostly based out of Canada actually, because the state didn't start covering this till more recently.
So was it actually full games or just snippets?
It's all full games, full DVDs. It's the full 10 greatest games.
Oh.
All in one set.
Excuse me.
And the whole disc has a whole game on there.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
We have I didn't bring it with me, but I'm really big into it. We can go over another video. I don't have to fetch it, but I'm big into the hockey game of when we won the Miracle on Ice game, when the U.S. beat the Russians. They even made a movie about it with Kurt Russell called Miracle. And I'm big into that because Mark Johnson, the guy who scored 2 goals in that game, he is the local women's coach here in Wisconsin. And he's been winning championships for a long time. It was also, I think, in 2014, he was the women's hockey coach at the Olympics. And actually, Canada was the one that beat us off. So he got the silver, not the gold, but he's been doing really well. And he apparently up there he still makes his girls do Brooksies and all that stuff. He has to go back and forth and all that stuff that Herb Brooks started with that team back in the late 70s, early 80s. The other one I brought that's hockey related is this is movie related indirectly, but this is the Ducks. Their Stanley Cup championship run that they did. So this is all the games in full, preserved and on DVD. They even has a really cool picture on the back here of the entire team.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
Watched, they call it the frenzy, the drama, the glory, and it's all the games, and on the back they even tell you the scores of all the games.
Oh, cool.
But they all came to, gives you all the breakdown and details of all the games when you watch them.
Wow.
I feel like these books.
Next, you're going to show me the Mighty Ducks movies with Muriel.
No, I didn't bring those, but I guess you catch those on Disney Plus. There's a new series on Disney Plus right now where they're.
I know, I've been watching that.
With them, yeah, my daughter loves it.
I love Coach Bombay.
Yeah, he's good.
There's another one with John Stamos where he coaches a girls basketball team in high school.
Yeah, my daughter's watching. My same daughter that's watching that one is watching both. Every time I go up to the TV, she's watching one or the other.
I watch it too. Disney Plus is not just for kids; it's for adults. I love it too. I love the Mighty Ducks movies.
So I kind of divided this into different sports piles that I have. So this is kind of a smattering. I do have a huge amount of stuff I could go through, and we'd be here for hours going through everything. But so I've put in a few of my key things I have in sports. Being from Milwaukee, I have the local Brewers. There are 5 essential games of all time, and this again is so this one has the 1982 game when we went to the World Series. This also has on here the World Series game with Cleveland against the St. Louis Cardinals that we won.
Wow.
On a side trivia note with the St. Louis Cardinals, my grandfather played for the semi-pro ball for the St. Louis Cardinals. Grandpa Bud, I talked about him on Rachel's show. He played semi-pro ball for them. This is going to sound crazy, but he said he went to get a real job because at that time baseball didn't pay the kind of big bucks it pays today. So he left and got a real job and had to quit his baseball career, but he was really good. But yeah, this has all the games from 82. I was at that game in 82. I'm going to show you that stuff here in a minute. But I was actually at the game in 82 when they took the series and they stormed the field, and it was exciting.
Oh, wow.
Throughout this entire town. We marched down Wisconsin Avenue. It was storming Gorman. It was Harvey Wallbangers, that's what they called them. Harvey Wallbangers of the drink in town. I mean, this town was just crazy. When the Packers too take it, we go nuts as well. So we're pretty crazy sports fans in this town. That's why we've always held on our franchise. And again, this has all the games on here. Even tries to show the original ads for some of the games. So
nice.
Shows all the original ads, and then it
almost
shows
looks like baseball cards in a way.
Yep. Really cool.
I like that style.
And now if you try to find the essential brewers, this goes for hundreds of dollars.
Dang.
Or any of the ones I've been showing, these go for hundreds of dollars right now. Because they only release them for like a minute time, and then they pull them because in some cases they do it to make money, but in this case, I really think there's just a small interest. People a lot of times with sports are like, I want to watch a game and then I don't want to watch the whole thing ever again. So it's not.
Well, before you carry on, this reminds me of an episode of The Simpsons. Do you remember the one where Homer was using Lisa because she was helping him bet on all the football games in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
That was a classic. That one.
That was an awesome episode.
And then
I love that show too.
I had to watch the game.
I have a whole drawer full of Simpsons, but at some point I had to cut it off because I was like, I'd rather buy other stuff, and there's just still pumping it out. I don't think I'd be able to fit in my house eventually. So
yeah,
there's so much Simpsons you could have, For going with baseball, your local, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, my uncle's favorite team.
These are 2 vintage games. And the reason why I have this, I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, you guys stole our star player, or in the early 90s, of Paul Molitor. You guys had him on the team. He was a star hitter and the MVP. He was a star in this town, and we did not like that because Sal Bando. He is a bad name in this town because he basically would not renew his contract, and he went on to the Toronto Blue Jays, ended up being the MVP for them. So it was a pretty sad day here in Wisconsin when we lost him. But he still went to the Hall of Fame as a Brewer, and he did all that. He still comes back. I mean, he was manager of the Twins for a while, and whenever he came to Milwaukee, he'd have to tip his hat, and we'd all cheer because he's just that big of a hometown hero. But these are actually vintage films. These are the films, not the actual, like they always do like a highlight film of every movie, of every game. And this
Yeah.
gives you all the highlights basically. This one is not these are not full games. They're two, what are called highlight films.
Okay.
And there was a classic TV show out then called This Week in Baseball. I have some episodes of that as well.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have every World Series vintage film that came out between when they started making them in the late 40s all the way through, I think it stops off at 2000, but that's just how they made the series, and they stopped making the DVDs. But I have that also in my collection back there, the other room. This one was a big one for me. This was the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Baltimore Orioles in 1979. I was 7 years old at this time. You have to understand, my dad was from York, Pennsylvania, and Baltimore is 50 miles away from York. So Pittsburgh, Baltimore, it was a big series of that year. Willie Stargell came out of this, and many other players. The young Ripken was on, the older Ripken was on the team. If you remember, their manager would always throw dirt at all the umpires and stuff. It was a pretty vicious series that went all 7 games. And again, this one just focuses on that particular World Series and has every game,
Wow.
highlight reels, everything from you
That is so
you watch the
cool.
entire series.
I like that.
Yeah.
And they played the Expos a lot, Montreal
Yes.
Expos.
And what's really funny to go, I collect all these. And so one time, when was that? Back in, I want to say my kids were 10 or 9 or 10. I was at the YMCA here in Milwaukee, and I was dropping them off at a dance class. And where those dance classes worked is they were only like an hour long, so I would hang out and wait. So I'd bring my laptop and I would watch some of these while waiting, just to pass the time and to enjoy it. I was watching a Michael Jordan basketball game from '82 when he was in college. And this guy comes behind me and he goes, "What are you watching?" And I go, "Well, I'm watching the '82 Michael Jordan game from North Carolina." He goes, "When you're done, tell me who wins." He thought I was watching like something current. And I was like, and Michael Jordan was long retired by like 6 years at that point. It was really funny.
Oh my God.
Well, there you go. There's another episode of James and JJ's Zoom call discussion where we're discussing movies, sports, and next week we'll be going over some of my sports memorabilia that I actually have. This week it was my sports videos. Next week it'll be my sports memorabilia. So hope you enjoyed this, and just want to let everybody in the vinyl community know to bring each other up and not bring each other down. Have a great day.